Alexa, turn on button test.
Okay.
This little device that I put together and have on my workbench is designed to save me some steps when I'm working with my laser cutter. Actually, I have two laser cutters. I have an eBay big blue laser cutter, and I have a Glowforge. Both of them allow me to sit at my computer, which is right over here, design a job, send it over the internet. On the eBay laser cutter, I can activate that print job from the computer and get it started. On the Glowforge, I have to physically go to the laser cutter after I've sent the job and press a button. And I can fully understand why they do that. It's a safety thing. If something is not set up correctly, at least you're physically there to see it happen. But there are times when I'm building something. For example, this is the beginnings of a scratch-built, laser-cut only trolley that I've been working on. And this curved section here, the little handrails, the stepped roof. Here's another example of that stepped roof with clamps to glue it. The clear story, which sits on top of that, the roof for the clear story, the seating that goes inside. All of those things require, 15 or 20, maybe 30 trips back and forth from the computer to the laser cutter to the computer to the laser cutter. And there are times that I'm 100% sure that I have everything set correctly, and I'd like to be able to push the button from here rather than walking 15 or 20 feet to push it from over there. So anyway, that's where this came from. Now, I've done something similar. A few years ago, I came up with a Wi-Fi based servo that would press a button on a keyboard of a laptop to wake it up after it was sleeping. It worked rather well, but it required a good bit of programming. And I found over the years that a lot of people have difficulty getting the ESP8266 to work with Wi-Fi. So for this project, I was looking for something that would require no programming at all, simply a couple of boards, something that was straightforward to connect to Alexa, and that's what I've come up with. I'm quite happy with it. It requires two... Alexa, stop. Whenever you say something like that, she'll try to respond. Anyway, the main item that I used is this board, and it comes in a little plastic bag with a small manual. This is a Wi-Fi, and I'll say the word Alexa again, controlled relay. There's a single pole double throw relay here with contacts. There's a normally open, a common, and a normally closed contact. A Wi-Fi module, a couple of buttons for setup. You connect this to a micro USB power supply, 5 volts, or you can just add 5 volts right here and install an application on your cell phone called eWeLink, and you use that to connect this to the Alexa environment, or just straight through your cell phone. No programming involved, fairly straightforward. I've got a lot of information on my webpage at trainelectronics.com that talks about how to do that, and I'll put a link to that below. So you've got this little board which sits right here. The other important part of it, I discovered this little device a couple of years ago. This is what's called a servo tester, and hopefully you know what a servo is. They're used to control the flaps, the rudder, the ailerons, and so on a model airplane, and a lot of other things. But this is designed to test servos. I've got a potentiometer on the tester, and when I turn the potentiometer, it turns the horn on the servo. Well, what I discovered, if you take this apart, this is another version of that same tester. If you take the cover off of it, you can solder 2 wires to the potentiometer, add a 1K, a 1000 ohm resistor where it plugs into the terminals on the relay board, and you can have it set so that when I turn the relay board on, I'll just simulate with the button here, it activates that finger, and I can adjust the position with the potentiometer that's on there. I can do it so it just barely hits. And while I'm thinking of it, there's an important variation here from the one that I showed you a minute ago. This is what's called a micro servo. Weighs 9 or 10 grams. It just doesn't develop enough torque to press the button on the Glowforge laser cutter. So I substituted a full-size standard type servo that has a tremendous amount of torque. As a matter of fact, if I put that about horizontal and press the button, watch what happens. It actually lifts the whole board up in the air, so it's pressing pretty hard. So all you need is the Wi-Fi module. You can get that from Banggood for about $6 delivered, or about double that from Amazon. Of course, get it maybe the next day. This little servo tester, again from Banggood, eBay, I believe they're available on Amazon. I have some links on my webpage. And connect it all together. I laser cut the finger, but you could certainly fabricate one out of popsicle sticks or whatever, and a little base for it. And it works beautifully. Again, introduce it to eWeLink, have Alexa discover devices, and with that it should find it, and just saying, you know, Alexa button test, Alexa turn on button test. There we go. We'll activate it. What I'd like to do now is show you the laser cutter and the system that I have over there, very similar to this, and not particularly difficult to implement. Okay, here we are at the Glowforge laser cutter, and as you probably can hear, its fans are running. And on the side here is the board that connects to Wi-Fi, the board that is the servo tester, and over here is the finger, the standard servo. And this is actually bolted through that piece of oak to the frame of the table that it sits on. And this is the button that I have to press to get it to do anything. So let's just say, Alexa, turn on button. Alexa, turn on button. She didn't hear me. Okay. And there we go. And you see it woke up a little bit. There's no job in there right now, so it's not going to start cutting. Alexa, turn on button test.
Okay.
Took her a while. So that's the Alexa automated finger for laser cutter button pushing. Hopefully you can come up with other things that you could do with this. You certainly could use it to throw a switch. You could use it to perhaps change the setting on drapes or curtains or something like that. Use your imagination. If you come up with any ideas, leave them in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Again, a lot more information on my webpage. I'll link that in below. And I hope you have an opportunity to build this and have fun with it. Thank you.